So I would like to explain an aspect of yoga that is very important. It was one that was very difficult for me to understand with my concussions and my brain injuries. So I want to try to explain it in the simplest way possible. Now, being or identifying yourself as the witness of your suffering or the witness of what is happening to you is the key to removing yourself from your mental illness, from your depression, anxiety, all of your suffering. This is the key to removing yourself from it, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. Your brain is basically the same way. You're going to be able to influence it in the same ways. So, let's take ourselves back to the last thing that triggered us, or the last thing that happened to us that made us feel like a victim, or that made us feel lowered. If you think about it, you would not feel lowered unless you made a connection to that person or to that event or thing that happened to you. See, in yoga, we talk a lot about union. The goal of yoga is union, or union is about, your yoga is about union. The goal of yoga is to really bring the two hemispheres of your mind together, bring your mind and your body in harmony. The goal of yoga is so that you live your life in a harmonious way, and that you live in harmony with yourself and with other people. Because if you can't live in harmony with yourself, then you can't live in harmony with other people. If you can't love yourself, you can't love other people. So there's a connection. The root of your suffering, of you feeling like a victim, or of you feeling less or lowered, comes from the connection that you make with these events that happen to you, with these things that people say to you, right? When you are the witness, you are able to disconnect yourself. Here you are over here with your suffering. You're connected to it. And over here, you're able to be the witness. But when you're able to be the witness, you can detach yourself. My right hand is the suffering. The left hand is me. I am the witness. I'm able to detach myself from this suffering. And then I can punch the suffering out of the picture. So then I am the only thing that is left. This is the power that I've learnt from my yoga practice. This is the most valuable piece of yoga, of magic. It's the same stuff. This is the most valuable lesson that you can learn, and I'm teaching it to you right now for free. I had this realization earlier at the gym, that when you are suffering, it is because you are connected to the suffering that maybe someone else is trying to project onto you. But that's not always how it happens. Sometimes we get in accidents. Sometimes we get in skateboarding accidents. Sometimes we have accidents at the gym. That is not someone intentionally trying to hurt you, but it still hurts you. Why does it hurt you? Because you're attached to it. I'll use myself as an example. I've stopped doing this for the past year, but I used to identify everybody I would meet. I have a brain injury. I'm Gavin. I have a brain injury. Hi. Like, to the point where it was almost like a retardation or something that I couldn't stop doing. But it was working against me, because first impressions, you only make one. And if the first impression you get from me is, "Hi, I'm Gavin. I have a brain injury," you're going to think I'm retarded. Quite literally. There's nothing I can do about that. And I see it now, but when I was attached to my brain injury, when I was attached to my suffering, and when people would laugh at me and say, "You're not Gavin, you're not your brain injury," that would make me a bit it wouldn't make me angry, but it would irritate me because I was still attached to my brain injury over here. And I thought I can just do this for the rest of my life, but you can't. Now that I'm able to detach and I'm able to see it from a witness perspective, and this is my brain injury, just to use this as an example, my brain injury is it's the most traumatic event that's ever happened to me. So of course, I'm not going to get over it right away. But it takes you longer time to learn these lessons, that it cements them more in your mind, and then when you teach people, it's more effective. So you don't keep yourself attached to your suffering. And some people know how to do this from birth, but some of us don't. For various reasons. Some of us get concussions, some things happen that block us, that I'm not going to use that word, but some things happen to us in our lives that block us, that prevent us, that disable us. Right? And we can't do anything but work on ourselves and help ourselves to the best of our ability. And if we're just sit over here attached to our suffering, our ability is never going to be as good as if we're over here and we can detach ourselves from our suffering, and we get taller than our suffering. We can just slap our suffering right out of the picture. Do you get it? But there are all these people taking antidepressants and all these. I take antidepressants too, but I'm getting off of them. But right, there's so many people that are just on pills and on drugs for the rest of their life, and they don't believe in what I'm actually telling you. This is how I've overcome my social anxiety. This is how I overcome my depression, and that overcoming your depression is kind of a lifelong thing, but this is how I have overcome my social anxiety. All these things that used to right? All these things that I used to identify myself with, and I used to hold very tightly to myself, and I thought I was these things. But then I learned yoga, and I get over here and, oh, what's this? I'm not a depressed, right? I'm not a socially anxious weirdo. I'm not. Oh, I'm just Gavin. This is as easy as it is to cure yourself from mental illness, from all these things: depression, anxiety, social anxiety, agoraphobia. Like, bro, I've had all of them, and it's not something I identify myself with anymore, because when you identify yourself with these things, you're holding on to them and you're lowering yourself, because you're not any of these things that have happened to you. You're not these accidents. You're not brain damaged. You don't have damage. It's a figment of your imagination. If you keep, like, okay, maybe if you just eat potato chips and you eat McDonald's all day and you watch TV, then you might be brain damaged. Your brain is not going to get any better in that circumstance. Then you can say you have brain damage, right? But if you're practicing yoga, working out, if you're working on your brain every second of every day of your life, which is what I do, you don't have brain damage. You have a brain injury. And if someone tells you you have brain damage, they're trying to lower, right? They're trying to get you in a lower state. They're trying to attach your suffering to you. Fuck you if you want to try to do this. They're trying to attach the suffering that you have worked your way out of back to you, so that they can sell you a product or sell you some bullshit. This is never what I wanted to do to people. This is not what I do to people either. But it's what I've had other people do to me. So I speak out against it. It's fucking bullshit. It's scum. It's scummy. And if you're a teacher, if you don't do that to someone else either, It's like guys trying to use the mystery method, but they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're bad at it. I see right through them. So, it's a slimy sales tactic to try to lower someone, to try to get someone detached back to their unimaginable trauma so that you can sell them a product. That's bullshit. So, you're not any of these things that have happened to you. You're stronger than them. You are more. The human body and the human brain, if you help them, it's the thing, you can't sit on your butt and watch television all day and eat junk food, then your brain is going to rot. You are what you eat. You are what you do every day, right? So I just wanted to put that out there. This is the strongest yoga practice, and I didn't even have to go on a yoga mat to do it. You don't either. And if you want to look up a guru who helps you to realize this witness perspective, Ramana Maharshi is one to YouTube. On YouTube, type in Ramana Ramana Maharshi, and watch his lectures, watch what people say about him. He was the real deal. And he'll help you. He'll help you to realize this far quicker than I or any other person on the internet could, right? He was one teacher who helped me, as well as my first yoga teachers. So, you can overcome anything that God or life throws at you. And when you realize this witness perspective, you become much stronger, and you know then that you can overcome anything. Right? So I hope you have a good time. If you want to talk about yoga or any of these other beautiful art forms or mindfulness, I guess being the witness would be a mindfulness practice. But I digress. I don't really know. I hope you have a good day.